What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video. This time about the new Guilty Gear. So I've been away since I guess like a week before Evo, and there were a bunch of announcements at Evo. I hope you enjoyed some of the videos I put out while I was gone. They were all scheduled. I'm really sorry about that team building video, but this week pretty much I'm just catching up with Evo announcements that are interesting to me. Of course, like Guilty Gear. So Guilty Gear is the game I played before Dragon Ball. Funny enough, we'll get into this, but funny enough, I don't actually like Guilty Gear, but I'm going to tell you why people like Guilty Gear and why I actually like Guilty Gear, despite saying I don't like Guilty Gear. I'm pretty happy to hear they're actually making a new game. The trailer was amazing, and instead of just playing the trailer and doing some bullshit analysis of like, oh, I bet that guy with the red coat is Soul or something, I want to talk about why people actually play and enjoy Guilty Gear and what I think Guilty Gear is actually about as a fighting game, especially if you haven't played it before. So Guilty Gear is an air dash fighter, but it's not a modern air dash fighter. It's kind of old school. It feels old school. The buffer is really tight. If you don't know what a buffer is, it's like how fast the game, maybe fast is the wrong word, but the window of time the game will receive inputs. So the buffer is very small, so the game feels very crisp. When a game's buffer is big, if the game's buffer is too big, then the game will feel like a little watery, or you'll get inputs you don't want because you inputted extra stuff in the window. And of course you have the extreme of Smash Ultimate that has the, if I understand correctly, the infinite buffer for everything. Guilty Gear's buffer is very tight. It's very tight and crisp. The game is fast, but the game is fast not just because of the game speed and how fast the characters move, but also because you don't always get combos off your hits, so you're actually making more decisions than you might in a normal anime fighter, especially if you play a classic Guilty Gear character. And on top of that, your combos aren't that homogeneous either. Sometimes the best combo you can do is legitimately that, and that's what I just did. It was great. Great. Sometimes you get really big boy combos. I'm going to do the easy one because I haven't played Guilty Gear in like 3 weeks. Yeah, but sometimes you get that. You don't always get the same type of combo. So because you don't always get big combos off your hits, the game feels and looks faster. People, of course, like the game speed. Another thing about the game, too, is that despite every character having similar-ish win conditions, like basically you want to just knock someone down and run it, they all go about it differently, and the tool set they have are all very different, and how you use them are all very different. So the characters feel very different and unique. Very, very drastically different. You have, say, Baiken with her parries, and she wins by bullying you with her big tatami gaishi, but then she tries to parry you and pressure. Milia with her 2 air dashes and her super Akuma fireball who knocks you down in a set play. Or you have Ram with her 2 giant swords that she uses to control space. Raven running through your normals. Zato controlling a little shadow, moving it back and forth. Everyone goes about how they play the game differently. So combine this with the fact that people don't always have a way to convert into a really fat combo, and you can actually really tailor the character to how you want to play. There are some characters in Exer specifically, like Elfel or Raven, who have really good conversion ability, but for the most part, especially amongst the old school characters like Milia, like Soul, like Kai, they don't always get combos off stuff. So it's actually kind of different from more modern anime fighters, where I sort of feel like, for the most part, you can play those characters kind of optimally, while, yeah, there's an ideal way to make choices in Guilty Gear, but because of not being able to convert that much and having to make more choices in these type of situations, the individuality of you comes out way, way more in a character, and I think that's a really big part in why people like Guilty Gear so much, besides, of course, the great aesthetic and music and stuff like that. Now, the last thing about Guilty Gear that I think you need to know hopping in before even playing is that this game is really about being aggressive, and that's another reason why people like it's really, really about being aggressive. The game punishes you for playing too defensively. There is a mechanic called negative penalty here. In this game, it takes away all your meter immediately. When you run forward, just like Dragon Ball, you gain meter. If you block too much, there's a guard gauge, and once the guard gauge fills to 50%, everything's a counter hit, which means you are going to take mad damage. Mad damage. The game wants you to approach and, for lack of a better word, fight. Get in there, do what your character wants to do. That's the goal of Guilty Gear at a flat level. The other reason why it's so good and fun to watch too is because the game is just really old. So Xrd is based off XX, so there's a lot of history there. XX is pretty, I don't know the exact year, but I definitely feel like it came out in 2001 or 2000, and it's 2019 and we're still playing Guilty Gear, and especially the classic characters, they're still at a base the same. Like, Millia has been doing this for about 20 years or so. Soul has been doing like this for mad long. Maybe that's not the best Soul thing of all time. Probably Soul has been doing this for mad long, you know. The game is very developed, so I guess one of the only questions I have for the new Guilty Gear is how much is it based off classic Guilty Gear, and how much are they trying to do new things and refresh the franchise? Because remember, BlazBlue, which was the original Guilty Gear replacement, is very different from Guilty Gear. But Xrd is very much what people were used to, besides like mechanic stuff like YRC and like the new characters, stuff like that. So that's my only question, but if you're hopping into Guilty Gear right now, definitely leave comments on what type of content you want to see for Guilty Gear on this channel. I used to make Guilty Gear content, kind of like really focused on tournament players, and also I shared a lot of tech with fellow Millia players on this channel. I have a beginner character overview on here that I will be linking at the end of the video here if you want to just peek the characters from Rev 2. That one is missing Answer and Baiken, but it has pretty much everyone else. And just let me know, like I said, let me know what you're feeling. Are you picking up Rev 2 to get ready? And we'll go from there. So like I said, comment, also like or subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.